Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Lorelei Shamayo. I run the MeWe Metaphysics and Wellness events for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have many events online and many events in person in the Northwest, and we interview our practitioners and vendors so you get a chance to know who we are before you meet us at an event. I'm here today interviewing Madame Ximon. It's lovely to be with you.
Likewise, Lorelei.
So tell us, what is it that you offer at our events?
So I am an archetypal astrologer and tarot reader, and I'm also a visionary fine artist. And so I offer consultations for natal astrology and relationship astrology. And I also offer tarot readings. And I do custom art for clients based upon their astrological charts. And so some of that art I sometimes make available at shows, but I also do take commissions at the shows. So.
Great, that's great. I know we didn't talk about it ahead of time. Do you have anything you can show us so we get an idea of what it is? And I can talk if there's anything you can grab. If you can't, that's okay. But
most of my stuff has actually already been delivered to clients.
I know.
So
like an example somewhere, but
right, it can be found online on my website.
Okay, we'll go ahead and mention what that is right now so people can find it.
Okay, my website is www.iconalchemy.com.
Okay, great. And
that's ICONALCHEMY.
Great. We might have you share your screen later and show us some of it if that works. Well, so
okay, yeah.
It's this range of all these things that you did. So that you do. So how did you get started doing these different kinds of things?
I started reading tarot back in 1989. And at the time I was just reading it for myself and friends. And but I did end up fortuitously losing the little booklet that came with my tarot deck. And that actually meant that I then went out and got more books on tarot, which was the best possible thing that could have happened. In particular, I got a book that was about tarot as a modality for psychological health, and tarot in the context of Hermetic Kabbalism. And that is a mystical tradition which puts correspondences between the tarot and many other symbolic modalities, including astrology. Eventually, that led me down the astrology rabbit hole. But for a long time, even before that, I wound up using art as a means to understand my own tarot readings for myself. And so this is why I eventually started, when doing astrological readings, that was the logical next step, is to make art in order to understand those readings. And so it's come to be something that I offer to my clients. Also, people on my Patreon campaign get regular access to that art, get regular art made for them in that modality. And yeah, it's been a wonderful way to help people to integrate the archetypes that are at work in their lives and understand the patterns that are at work in their lives in ways that don't just involve words. Words are great, but sometimes we need images to help us. And that's actually what the icon alchemy process is all about, is helping us to reframe the narratives in our lives by reframing the images in our lives.
So that's great. So you have a Patreon community, and then people have get regular things from you. Wow, okay, cool. So when someone approaches you to work with you at an event, how do you discover what kinds of modalities you work with them? Like, what are the types of questions that they typically come with? And then how is that selected or chosen?
Well, most events, people are kind of just dipping their toes in the water. I mean, there are some who will come to an event who are very informed about what it is they're looking for, but most people, they will come by and they will ask me a little bit about what is it you do and what can I get from you? What kinds of readings can I get from you? And then, typically we'll start with something small. Sometimes, they'll go for a full reading, like for tarot, for instance, I can go from 1 card to 15 cards. And I mean, really, I could technically add cards through the deck, but there are those kinds of readings. There's 1, 3, 7, and 15 are the typical numbers. But for astrology readings, typically you're looking at a natal chart reading, which can take anywhere upwards of an hour. I mean, we can do kind of a short, again, dipping your toes in the water for maybe a half hour, but it typically takes longer than that to really dive deep into the natal chart and really give people a complete picture. Like I said, I also do relationship readings. So if somebody is specifically having questions about relationships, then we can get into that. Family relationships as well as romantic relationships. Family patterns are actually a strong interest of mine, because I really believe that a lot of the problems of our society are caused by multi-generational trauma. And so that is something that I specialize in and work with people who have been struggling with that in order to help them to heal, because I believe that that has ripples outward. The well-being of one person can dramatically affect the well-being of a community.
Yes, yes. Oh, wow. Well, I'm just curious just a little bit more about your art. And do images often appear for you as you're working with people? Is it only certain times? And just, are there certain themes in the images? I imagine there is. And
so typically when I am working with tarot in particular, tarot, of course, has beautiful images to begin with, but then there are also myths and stories that are triggered out of that come out of that. I see, let's say, the Fool card. Okay. And the Fool card, which starts out the major arcana, is modeled after the Western Grail legend, the Arthurian legends, of the character of Parsifal. Okay. The kitchen boy who wanted to become a knight and was laughed at by the other knights. But in the end, it was he who found the Grail and healed the Fisher King. Okay. So, right off the bat, there's one card there. I get an image and I get a story and I get myths that I can tap into, folklore and legends, which I've spent a lot of time studying in my life. I've been interested in them since I was a small child. And so these kinds of stories, they have been patterning our understanding of ourselves and our society for a very long time. And while there are certainly, toxic variations, there are also very ancient variations that are incredibly healing when we start to recognize, oh, this is actually part of something much older, and we can clear away some of the stuff that has been polluting it just from modern day culture and go back to our roots. And I strongly encourage people to go back to their roots, to find the folklore of their ancestors, to find what it is that calls to their blood and calls to their heart and makes them feel alive.
Well, so exciting. All these things where people can like enter and do, and like the depths and the nice things like weaving and what they do with you.
I also actually do a lot of dream work. I make hand embroidered, hand quilted dream pillows, herbal dream pillows that are stuffed with a fine-tuned recipe that I have come up with over the past few decades. And I've had lots and lots of people work with these dream pillows over the years, and I've gotten lots of feedback. So they are a fine-tuned instrument. And I love helping people that, because it's something, the pillow is something tangible, and it has a lovely scent, and it beckons people to dive deep into their subconscious and learn what wisdom there is there for them.
That's great. Well, if people want to learn more about you, where can they find you online? I know you said your website earlier, but let's say it again, and with any other contact info you want, and maybe I'll go look for it. I might go see these images. So. All right, where do we go?
Yes, so my website is iconalchemy.com. Okay, so icon as in a religious icon, alchemy as in a process of transformation, okay, .com. It is currently under construction, so please pardon its appearance. It should actually be fully visible tonight. But anyway, and there I have art images as well as the dream pillow images so that people can see those. I also have, those are available for sale on my Etsy shop as well. But you know, if you want to actually get a chance to see them in person and feel the pillows and smell them and all of that, you can come to the MeWe fairs and get a chance to find out what they're like in person and meet me in person. And I would love to see.
Exactly. I know I've seen these before, but I know more about what they are now. I'm so eager to see them again. All right, great.
Excellent.
Well, thank you. It was lovely being with you today.
Likewise, Lorelei.
And for all of you watching and listening, you can find out more about all of our events and visit with Madame Ximon at mewefairs.com. That's MEWEFAIRS.com. See you soon.